Dina from Argentina, Buenos Aires, and how to present myself. Oh God, well, someone that is very sensitive and that likes finding sensitivity in every aspect of life in order to make it more meaningful. I have always said that I was like searching for something, that I was like a seeker, right? But then I understood that there might be no such thing as seeking, because everything is here right now. Everything that we're seeking is here right now. We just have to like discover it, or like to remove the shades and like the sheets that prevent us from seeing it. So what I'm trying to connect with is, I'm not seeking, but I'm trying to listen to myself, because maybe sometimes the noise is too loud. And I came to India looking for silence, which is very ironic because it's like the country with the most noise, the noisiest I have ever been to. But what I learned was that, okay, if I wanted to have silence, I would have to create it myself, to look within, to find that silence within and not expect silence from the outside. And also what I learned from India is like, okay, it's chaotic and it's noisy, but that's what it's all about, like finding peacefulness in the middle of chaos.
Yeah.
So like, how can you remain still when everything around you is just crazy? India called me because I was going to start my backpacking trip in Peru. I wanted to do all the, the medicinal plants and just rest and heal like my body there. But so I decided, okay, I'm going to Peru in December last year. And after 10 days that I, make my decision, I already talked to the place I was going to go to in Peru. Everything was settled. Not the ticket, but everything was settled, the idea. And then a friend that I met in Argentina, he was from India, he calls me and he tells me, I'm getting married and you're more than invited. And I was like, okay, if you're letting me know in December, you might get married in October next year, no? And no, it was March this year. So I was like, okay. All my plans completely turned around. And I was like, if I come to India, I can't come to India for 1 week because it's, a huge effort, it's very far away. And I was like, okay, well, I'm starting in India. So that's how I ended up, yes, in India. So somehow, like, I was not looking for it. I just followed what was, like, presented. I just feel, I still don't know what it is, but I feel like there is something else I should be doing. And also, of course, in this path and like this consciousness and everything path, I also have imposter syndrome. Like, being here is like, who am I to teach yoga? Like, what am I thinking? Like, is this? And yeah, so the transformation started the day I bought the ticket and I made the decision. There was something that just got destroyed, that tower just came down. And it was even hard, like looking at all the people I knew. It was hard looking at them in the eyes. I was like, I felt like I was not here anymore. Like something changed. Yes. What is self? Because I'm also reading a book, and all this introspection journey, focusing so much on yourself, is also like. Identification with the I, with the identity, with the ego, right? Like, I'm working on myself and I'm introspecting to get to know myself better, to change myself, to reach to a certain point. Like, I'm this way, but I want to change myself because I know I can be better. So you're not happy with who you are. So I'm also like dealing, okay, what's with the self and what's with all this introspection, because I'm constantly isolating for just me, this concept of me. So what is it that I'm looking that I cannot find sometimes in society? I'm craving for silence and aloneness and loneliness. But I know that we learn how to leave things to others also, no? Like mirroring ourselves. And so I'm still working on that self-idea. But when it comes to self-love, I think this is a huge self-love act. Even though we are identified with the self, the fact that we want to be better or like feel better, you put yourself into some therapies, you keep looking for answers. It's because something there's wrong with you. Maybe then you realize the self doesn't exist or whatever. Yes, that can happen. But the fact that you're moving, you're doing something, I feel that's a super self-love act. Self-love act is anything because it's for you. Yeah, it's feeding your soul with what is needing. For example, last year I was on this like tantric shamanic cleansing workshop. Like we were doing so many exercises that would release a lot of trauma and things. And it was on Saturday mornings, 3 hours continuously. And one day I just, got outside of myself and I looked at myself from outside and I was like, okay, everybody now is on a Saturday, regular Saturday, having fun, doing stuff, and I'm here, like, putting so much energy to release so many emotions. And I was like, that is a huge self-love act. Choosing yourself is a self-love act. Doing what you feel like doing, of course, as long as you don't hurt anyone, that's a self-love act. Self-love act is just being truthful with what you need. I felt like I would really like to make people feel free and make the ones that feel unseen feel seen. And also like give them the tools, or like making them understand that they are free. I thought about this when dancing, a lot of people when they dance are like very like shy, or either you think you are looking terrible, and like I would like to get that thing out of people, and just like I want you to be crazy, like to completely lose control, and like for us to have a celebration of how spontaneous we can be with movement. So that's something that I'd like. When you're doing stuff for others, the teacher said you're actually doing them for yourself because you're going to feel better, or you're cleaning karma or whatever. So it's like, but of course, like, if I'm okay because I do good to me, you're okay because you do good to you. When we're together, as we are good by ourselves, we might be good together, or we might know how to like get on well, or like control. Being empathetic, understanding I think leads to empathy. And also what I like is getting people to think. I like philosophy, so I like having these discussions on the existence, the self. So maybe like getting or sharing with people questions that will make them think, expand their knowledge, so as they don't limit themselves to one belief. I think it's good to question what is established. Of course, it's scary. I mean, not everybody does that because it's scary, because you have to face the fact that everything might be a construction, and when everything is a construction, it's like, okay, nothing is real then. I think there's something so magical and profound in understanding that it all might be just the action of giving meaning to stuff. Yeah, then I have like, of course I would like to eradicate poverty, or like, domestic violence, everything that has to do with women being discriminated, or like being more vulnerable for the fact that they are women. It just breaks my heart since I was very little. So like if I could do something also, like to have an impact on that, I think that would be amazing. So I would tell them, find a community. Yeah, find other women, find women community where you can rely on, where they can take you like to connect with your femininity, your divine feminine, I would say. Like realizing the power, the potential we have to create, and like healing every trauma when it comes to to being leaders, to being free when we walk in the streets, to not being scared of like sharing spaces with the opposite sex because of like bad experiences in the past. So like I think that having a good community where you can rely on is key. And like also I would tell them to let's reconnect with our body, with our cycles, get to know our bodies in order to because knowledge is power. So the most we know about ourselves, the more powerful we can manage, like our time, our tasks, our desires, our dreams, everything. That's something that I also have to do. It's not that I learned everything. No, no, no. I'm on that path. So yeah, community and knowledge. I feel like love is acceptance, acceptance of who you are, and acceptance of like others. Love is that little moment you take anytime during the day to just give you something that makes you completely joyful and happy, like your tea time, or writing, when you get that tingling of like, oh God, I feel love. Love is also knowing how to receive, learning to receive. Yes, it's so nice when you're giving something and you just take it with so much joy. And love, I think, is also understanding that we are all the same. That you like I am you are me, nature the same way. So everything that I do to you bad is also harming me, and everything that I do good to you, that's good to me. So yeah, like love is that realization that we all come from the same place, the same source. So yeah, love could be like limitless being, like limitless self.